This week on the Racer X Show, we add a new 450 class rider to the win list in the land of 1,000 lakes. And falling down in Moto 1 means nothing for Moto 2. All the great action from Pro Moto. The sideways sliders take to the Pacific Northwest, and an incredible charge through the field took place. It was bar banging, traction searching, slipping and sliding action from Grays Harbor. And we have news about ISDE, who's going and what's expected. News on the anticipated arrival in the U.S. of the very studly Jeffery Herlings. Will he still be able to make it? The famed Loretta Lynn's amateur races are right around the corner. We have news about hours and hours of live coverage. And a guest with an exclusive announcement about supermoto racing. It lives. Well, you'll have to watch. You'll want to watch because we're on fire. Hello and welcome to the Racer X Show, presented by Chaparral Motorsports. I'm Greg White, the host of this Racing Highlights Show. And this go-around, we have a packed one for you, including our first industry guest to give us an exclusive announcement. We love that. So let's get the show rolling.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Chaparral Motorsports. Visit Chaparral Motorsports online at chapmoto.com.
Making our way into round 15 and 16 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, it's clear that the title chase is coming down to two Red Bull KTM teammates, Ken Roczen and Ryan Dungey. Heading into the weekend, Roczen had a 26-point lead on his teammate, while the solid Trey Canard on the Team Honda Muscle Milk CRF is still in the hunt. But the chit-chat's been about this class rookie, Eli Tomac, who was out with injury earlier in the season, and he didn't get to mount his Geico Honda until round 9 in Tennessee. In 6 motos, Tomac has only been off the podium twice, and those fourths. So, time for a breakout weekend, and how about this? Spring Creek is owned by the Martin family, as in Jeremy and Alex Martin of the 250 fame. It's their parents. And it's the home race for Ryan Dungey. Some expected local heroes to emerge. Some did, and some didn't. So to the action we go with Jason Wygant and Grant Langston.
Drive about an hour and a half from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, and you will find Millville, Minnesota, and Spring Creek Raceway. Host site of Round 8, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. It's the Spring Creek National. Well, everyone wanted to see Ryan Dungey win here in his home state, but Ken Roczen of the 94 had other ideas, challenging his teammate early.
Yeah, Roczen was on a mission right here. Goes to the outside, coming out of the Millville Whoop section, gets around Ryan Dungey, takes that lead, and we thought, okay, we're going to have a battle of the KTM guys, but that was not to be.
No, Dungey then crashed, dropped back to third, and Eli Tomac took over second and fought hard to catch Roczen, and then fought even harder to get around him. Great battle as Roczen tried to defend his position.
They went back and forth. Neither one wanted to relinquish that first place position, but eventually Eli Tomac goes a long way around, gets up the inside, and after that, once he made the power stick, he just checked out.
Absolutely. Wins it by 16 seconds. Eli Tomac has his first ever win on a 450. It's been a rough year for him with assorted injuries. Apparently, that is no longer an issue. And we've got ourselves a real player for moto and overall victories, I would assume, for the rest of the season. Dungey third, Canard a lonely race in fourth. Grant wins that battle for fifth. Ahead of Metcalf, Stewart had a crash early, comes back for seventh. Pike short break, and you saw those riders battling. That's the rest of your top 10. Noren just misses the top 11. Reed 14th. And Jake Weimer in his first ride back 18th. And good job, Tommy Hahn, going to score a point in 20th. Tomac got the whole shot. Justin Brayton made a quick pass on him, and then Tomac goes to work trying to take the lead back.
Well, he does, and he does just that. He gets that lead, fought for it, but look, watch out, just power move up the inside. Brayton didn't even see that coming, and after that, Tomac just started checking out.
Yeah, and a big battle for third now. Trey Canard getting around your series points leader, Ken Roczen. That pushes Roczen back to fourth. First race this year, Roczen has not finished in the top 3. Ryan Dungey was ahead of these guys in second. He made a run at Tomac for a while. These two continued to fight. But eventually, Dungey would go down. Tomac would shed that pressure, and the positions were set. And we can show you. Here is Tomac. He had one brief scare. Thought he had it.
Just on the gas hard, bike swaps out, uses his strength and fitness to get it done. But look at Dungey, gets tangled up with a Lapper right there. They come into the same line at the same time. Dungey obviously assuming that the Lapper knew he was there. Lapper didn't, but
hey, I don't know if Dungey would have gotten him regardless of the crash. Tomac was just so strong. He sweeps the first and second motos today, dominating the proceedings. And we'll show the results. So that Kennard was able to get Roxon for a third. Grant, another big battle for the top 5. He puts the Yamaha in there. Mehdi, Short, Pike, Greg, and Freddie Noren round out the top 10.
Yeah, today was a tough one. The way this track was, there's lots of rollers and then bumps, and it's rough. And you know, going in that second moto there, I was like, man, I just need to go out there and get a good start now. And actually, I'm getting the whole shot, and we had a red flag. I was like, man, really is this happening right now? Luckily enough, I got another one. Brayton just beat me down the first shred of it, but after that, I was just hitting my marks. I felt really comfortable on this track today, and couldn't have done without Geico, Honda, Amsoil, just everyone. Thanks.
50 career podiums for Dungey in this class in 56 career starts. Wow. That's incredible. And the points for today, you see, he made up a little ground on Roxon when we total up our first and second motos. Tomac, obviously, the big winner. Kennard in the hunt, as always. Josh Grant, 5th for the day. And these guys, Grant, Metcalf, Short, Pike, they seem to battle every darn week like that. And you can see how close they were when we total up the scores. So Dungey, a little bit of ground. Could have been more, though. I know that's what he's thinking with those 2 motos. And now we've only got a couple of rounds to go. Here's your championship point standings. Dungey was down 26. Now it's 24, inching up.
it's within the moto.
That is
means
kind of
you
the
have a
magic
chance.
number. Yeah, 25 is kind of the magic number.
Well, we saw last year Roxon unable to finish in the 250 class, and that opened the door for Eli Tomac in the 250 class. Now we're in the 450 class, so right now, Dungey chipping away, but he's going to have to do a little more damage as far as points go.
Yeah.
If he wants to win this title.
Jeremy Martin didn't quite get the start, was 3rd, got in the 2nd, had to deal with Christophe Pourcel. That's not normally an easy guy to pass, but it didn't take him long.
Well, through these whoops, it separates guys. Look at that. Martin just wanted that, just worked harder to get that, gets to the inside, makes that pass happen.
That's kind of fitting. This track's signature element is where he takes the lead. Then Cooper Webb trying to make a move on Justin Bogle. Goes down, was lucky enough to get run into by a couple of the riders, so that hurt him. He'd come back, just try to finish inside the top 10. Then late in the race, Marvin Musquin in 3rd, trying to get 2nd from Pourcel.
Yeah, I think Pourcel looks a little tired there. Musquin just using more body English, or more body French, to get by, and gets in that 2nd place. Great ride, but nothing can be said about this guy.
Yeah, the best ride goes to Martin. Takes the Moto win. He knows he's got to follow it up in Moto 2 to complete the overall, but already these fans have had something exciting to watch. Him taking this victory. These people saw him grow up here in the amateur ranks. Is now back as a pro and beating the best in the world. Blake Baggett, a terrible start, comes from about 20th to 4th.
Good
Dean
ride.
Wilson, Dean Wilson showed some speed at the beginning of that one, ends up 5th. You see Webb did recover for those top 10 points with a 9th. Jason Anderson, big first turn crash, recovers for 11th. Amark, the other local boy, finishes in 12th. There is the rest of the top 20. Another great start for Christophe Pourcel. Blake Baggett, not messing around. Baggett starting needed, trying to make passes.
Yeah, right here, gets to the inside. Looks like Pourcel could have closed the door there. Takes a look over. That was a waving the white flag moment there. Baggett looked like he was the guy to catch, but he ended up going down. Right here, Baggett, not sure what happened, but he goes down and eventually has to retire with what we believe mechanical issues. And I'm wondering if that radiator was so packed with dirt that it overheated or had a mechanical that way.
Cooper Webb, not a great start, making a bunch of passes, including this one on Justin Bogle to get into the #1 spot. Bogle fought hard, but he would eventually end up out of the race as well. Jeremy Martin got the 2nd, made a run at Webb, couldn't make it happen. Webb takes Moto #2. The bad news for him is that he crashed in Moto 1 and finished 9th. So he has a 9th and a 1st of the day. Jeremy Martin has a 1st and a 2nd. Martin is the overall winner. That's the old story in motocross. You got to be consistent over the course of 2 motos.
Consistency wins championships. Look at this.
Looking good for these guys.
Cooper Webb takes that win. Jeremy Martin, like you said, in 2nd. Damage control there. Jason Anderson, nice podium. Martin Musquin gets on the podium. Dean Wilson, see the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, I just made a few mistakes off the start, and then Cooper was behind me, and he rode a great race. I mean, like, I got stuck behind Joey Savacci, and I couldn't get around him, and I was like, man, I hear this Yamaha 250F up my, for coming up from behind, and you know what, he got around me, and he rode good. I tried to put in a charge for the home crowd to make it exciting, but just came up a little short, and Cooper rode good.
Here's your overall for the day. Good job by Webb to salvage 37 points to the number 37 and get to third after a disastrous first moto, just edging Porcel off the podium. Marvin Muscan is second. And here are your series point standings. Blake Baggett could have won this moto, was leading it. Usually he gets the lead, he wins. That would have been 25 points. Instead he scored 0, so now he's way back. Cooper Webb's second. Martin still your points leader.
You can watch all the great practice and race action this weekend from Washougal, Washington. You can do it on the web, promotocross.com/live, 1:30 p.m. East, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. That's practice. Pre-show, 3:15 East, 12:30 p.m. on the West. Then Moto 1 at 4 p.m. East, followed by 6 p.m. for Moto 2. Or on TV, MAV TV at 4 p.m. East, 1 p.m. Pacific for live Moto 1, and 6 p.m. East, 3 p.m. on the Pacific on NBC Sports Network for live Moto 2. And while we're on the subject of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, fans from all over the world were anxious to see multi-time FIM champion Jeffery Herling of the Netherlands at the upcoming Red Bull Unadilla National. Herlings, who has completely dominated the MX2 Grand Prix scene over the last few years, wanted to challenge the top American riders like Jeremy Martin, Cooper Webb, and Blake Baggett on their own soil at Unadilla August 9th during the break in the GP schedule. Now, during this past weekend was also a break, and Herling headed to Belgium to participate in his KTM bosses Stefan Evert's annual charity event, Everts and Friends. It was there, during a mini cycle race on 80s, that Jeffries crashed and snapped his femur. The accident brought an immediate end to his 2014 season, let alone the trip to Unadilla next month. The only good news here for Herlings, who hasn't lost a race he's entered all season, is the fact that he's so far out front in the point standings that he'll likely win the title. The only consolidation for KTM is the fact that the man closest to Herlings in the standings, albeit 145 points behind, is also on an orange bike. His name, Jordi Tixier. Herlings had surgery on Sunday night for the injury and will hopefully come back better than ever. Here's wishing Jeffery a full and speedy recovery and hopefully a visit to Unadilla in 2015. What you just saw was footage from the largest amateur motocross event in the world. Amateur racers and their families will start traveling to Hurricane Mills, Tennessee this week for the 2014 Rocky Mountain ATV MC AMA Amateur National Motocross Championships at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. Racing begins on Tuesday, July 29th through Saturday, August 2nd. The Racer TV crew will be there covering, get this, about 32 hours of live racing coverage, including at least one moto from each of the 36 classes racing at the Amateur Nationals. You really need to go check out Loretta's that weekend, at least one day. Fans looking to attend the event can find information on mxsports.com. The dirt track. After a week off, the racers of the AMA Pro Flat Track Series went all the way from Maryland to the Pacific Northwest, Elma, Washington, at Grays Harbor Raceway. The race was scheduled for Saturday, but a heavy mist from the Pacific Ocean made racing impossible. So the good folks at Grays Harbor brought him back on Sunday for some spectacular racing in both the GNC and Pro Singles classes. On pole and looking as handsome as ever, number 7 Slammin' Sammy Halbert on his Southeast Harley-Davidson. Watch him go sideways when they drop the clutch. A pretty slick track. Not horrible from what I'm told, but rough and slick. Anyway, it was Jake Johnson on the number 5 Ramsar Winery Harley-Davidson who came from the outside of row 1 to challenge the pole sitter. Try to find the number 9 Jared Mees on the Rogers Racing Harley-Davidson. He started 7th on the second row. More on him later. Fast forward a few laps and our winner from last race, Hagerstown, Brian Smith, was on the move. getting by number 2 Kenny Coolbeth on the Zanatti racing machine. And about 40 seconds later, the Villa Esparza Crosley Radio Kawasaki goes to the front. So now it's Smith, Halbert, and Coolbeth. Oh, but we are not done. On lap 18, Smith leads, Coolbeth second, and Mies had worked his way into third. Track announcer Scotty Dubler with the call.
Wow, Coolbeth makes a slight mistake. Mies says, thank you very much. I will take over second place. Johnson comes up the inside. He's trying to take over third. So Coolbeth goes from second to fourth in one lap.
Next lap, on 20 of 25, Mies makes his move on his good friend Smith. That would be all she wrote. Smith keeps Mies honest, but the man from Clio, Michigan takes his second win of the year. So P2 for Smith, with Jake Johnson holding off Halbert for third. Coolbeth, without his DNFs, when he finishes the race this year, his worst, fifth. Canadian Doug Lawrence rounding out the top 10. Well, he had to fight for it today. Let's hear from our winner.
I don't know. It's a bunch of East Coast guys on the podium on the West Coast. I mean, it probably makes a couple of you guys pretty poochy lip, but it's all good.
What? Wait, what did he just say? Poochie lip?
A couple of you guys pretty poochy lip, poochy lip, poochy lip.
Okay, I guess that's what you mean when you have like a pouty lip or something. It's a new one on me, Mies. All right, let's keep going.
I had a great start, and you know, just was kind of picking them back 5th through 6th and battling with Jake, and then finally got around Jake, and then kind of caught up to Coolbeth there, and just he made a big mistake down here. As everybody was making mistakes, that was kind of the place to pass somebody due to everybody's mistakes, and I just got a good run on Brian, and this Harley Davidson just went right on by.
Well, I know Mies isn't poochy-lipped about the points lead. He's got 5 over Smith, with Johnson another single tick behind that. To the pro singles class, and Dan Bromley of Bromley Brothers KTM Racing was the fastest in qualifying. Even after a quick start and red flag, this was go number 2. To Scotty Dubler.
And they're off. 51 Fredrickson gets the whole shot this time. 51M gets the whole shot. That is Fredrickson. He'll lead him off for turn number 2. Van der Koy's in second, but he's got his hands full. Side by side for third and fourth, it's Bromley and Fisher. Here they come into 3 and 4 for the first time.
Early on, it was number 51 Cole Fredrickson trying to hold off number 17 Jared Van der Koy on the Johnny's Vintage Motorcycle Honda. But Van der Koy was too strong, and that would be that. Van der Koy rode it all the way home for the win, his first of 2014. So a Honda on the podium with Van der Koy as the pilot, followed by Warren, Oregon's David Fisher and New York's Ryan Wells. Early leader Fredrickson, 5th place. But now we listen to Van der Koy about his win.
Yeah, that's the key, to just get the whole shot on these kind of tracks. And we've been working on the bike all day. I think the first qualifying session we qualified 24th. And my dad kept making adjustments on the bike, and we just started moving forward all day, and it was just amazing.
Tie. We have a tie. Yeah, 99 points for both Johnson and Fisher. Only one back, Ryan Wells. Come on, this is exciting stuff. You got to tune in and check it out. How do you do that? Well, if you have one of those newfangled computer thingies with that crazy interweb thing, check out fanschoice.tv next weekend live from the Sacramento Mile. And watch out for Brian Smith in this one. Pro Singles happens at 8:45 p.m. West Coast. That's 11:45 p.m. on the East Coast, with the Grand National Championship race at 9:15 local time, 12:15 in the AM on the East. Don't miss it, fanschoice.tv. In off-road news, the American Motorcyclists Association has announced the U.S. riders who will compete at the 88th International 6 Days Enduro, or the ISDE, November 3rd through the 8th in San Juan, Argentina. The AMA in Ohio sent out a press release that reads, joining the previously announced World Trophy team of Mike Brown, Thad Duvall, Charlie Mullins, Zach Osborne, Taylor Robert, and Caleb Russell is a full roster of 31 gold medal hopefuls on the Junior Trophy team, the Women's Trophy team, and the 6 club teams. Additionally, a quote by team manager Antti Kallinen, which reads this: the U.S. teams will arrive in Argentina ready to race for the world title. All riders will be focused, determined, and prepared for this prestigious event. You can see a full list of racers by visiting AmericanMotorcyclist.com for all the information. One form of racing that was getting popular about 7 years ago was Supermoto, a combination of off-road and road racing done primarily on off-road machines. They tend to work the best. It was so popular that a few of the motorcycle manufacturers even made Supermoto street legal motorcycles. There is one man who is trying to revive the Supermoto craze, and he might have a familiar name to some of you. It's National number 10 flat track racer Johnny Lewis. And we welcome him via Skype. What's up, Johnny? How are you?
What's going on? Nice to be on the show.
Oh yeah, it's good to have you here. What's going on? You tell me what's going on. What are you up to, and what's this big announcement you have for us?
I'm always up to something, but I've been working with the guys from, it was originally called Supermoto East Coast, and then we became AMA Supermoto East Coast, and it's been a kind of a East Coast regional series trying to get Supermoto back on the game, back on the map again, and we're able to progress it, over this last year really quickly with, just kind of steps that we've been taking to get to that level, putting tracks together, across the East Coast, obviously, because that's the name of the series. We're putting together from Myrtle Beach Speedway all the way up to our last race was Montreal, so it was in Canada. So we're progressing, but now we've taken it one step farther and actually calling it the FIM North America Supermoto Championship. So we got FIM sanctioned along with AMA and CMA. So we're kind of making all the necessary steps to grow the sport up again.
Well, cool. And tell us about the Supermoto format and how does it work?
It's 70-30. What's 70% asphalt, 30% dirt, and what's neat about it is we can build tracks anywhere, and that's kind of what we've done already this year. First round start off as a go-kart track where they added a dirt section. The next round was a 5/8 mile asphalt oval speedway track that we laid out a track, put a dirt section in. Fans sat inside the bleachers, but also down in the infield and watched the racing. And then been progressing to we even went to Loudon Motorsports. Loudon up in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So rode the big tracks. So we're kind of venturing in different tracks, trying to see what fits. Trying to find the niche of people back on the sport again. Because there's always been since the big crave of Supermoto back 03 to I say 08 was the big 5 years that really were the good years. There's still always been guys all across the country, even up in Canada, still racing, and it's just in smaller groups. And now we're trying to bring everybody together and make a bigger organization out of it. And it's neat being able to build a track really anywhere. And our next race is actually at a motocross track that at one time had a amusement park. And they actually took the amusement park, all the rides out, and we're actually going to be racing basically where the amusement park is, and there's still some rides, so we're going to be going around and adding a dirt section and making a pretty fun track. And it's only 40 minutes from my house, so it's looking to be one of the best events so far this season, just progression-wise. The series is growing and growing and growing, so it's neat to see it happen, and it's still my favorite form of riding a motorcycle.
Well, that's awesome. Where do we find out more information?
It's pretty simple. It's FIM-NA SMC. So it's North America Supermoto Championship. It makes it easy to find, and you can go check out the site. We're gonna have all information on everything from our races, also to what we're working towards, and that's 2015 to be across the North America. Not just East Coast, but then also we're in the process of building a team for the Supermoto Nations, which is FIM, and that's kind of where everything ties together, being the FIM, North America, and be able to put a team together for that. So it's pretty exciting to be, one of the riders kind of in the hunt to be a rider on the team, on the, Supermoto Nations team, but also working for the series and getting that, the excitement going here in the Northeast.
Well, Johnny, congratulations on all the success lately. It's fantastic. If you're going to shoot any video, do we get some to show some highlights here on the Racer X Show?
Yeah, you're the first ones to be getting it after, kind of putting this together now. It's neat to be able to work with you guys and, grow the sport.
All right. Appreciate it, Johnny.
Thanks.
Hey, we want you to get out and watch some racing. In Washougal, Washington, the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship comes to town Saturday the 26th. Don't miss that. The forecast looks like sun and highs in the upper 80s. Perfect. AMA Pro Flat Track comes to Sacramento and the Sacramento Mile. That is going to be close racing. Saturday night, under the lights. Get on it, NorCal. The Mountain Dew ATV MX National Championship. Watch those four-wheel heroes get their race on. Red Bud, Michigan. Saturday, it's the pro race. That's the day. And for you dirty off-road folks, the Kenda AMA National Enduro Series presented by Moose Racing, round 7 of 10 in Cross Fork, Pennsylvania, July 27th. That's Sunday. Go watch racing.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Chaparral Motorsports. Visit Chaparral Motorsports online at chatmoto.com.
Okay, if you want to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. It's greg@racertv.com. If you want us to put your local races up on the event calendar, it's greg@racertv.com. And hey, if you're a motorcycle racer or a fan and you want to stop by to the Racer X Show on a Tuesday, let us know. Come check us out. We're in Morgantown, West Virginia, about 80 miles south of Pittsburgh, just off the I-79. That's it for now. We hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. Check us out on all of our social media links. Like us, follow us, and all that stuff. And you can follow me personally on Twitter. It's @GregWhite. For the fine crew here at the Racer X Show presented by Chaparral Motorsports and Racer TV, I'm Greg White. Remember, we are all racing all the time. Bye-bye. Boy, a lot of coverage coming from Loretta Lynn. You don't want to miss that stuff. Just sit down and make sure your laptop's charged and it'll all be good.